Hey guys, apologies for watching this podcast. I'm doing a start a little different here, but my audio is a little bit bad in the first 10 minutes, so I'm going to adjust the level so it's a little bit lower. Should be fine. About 10-15 minutes in, it switches to good audio because I luckily had a backup recording. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's a great one. What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. I'm Oscar. Today I'm joined by Joey. What's up, Joey?
Hey, guys.
And special guest of the week, and for every week that we have, Team ARG's Colin. Colin, how are you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
And before we get too far, I just want to say if you want to check out Happy Little Hug Factory, link in the description down below. Pick up some Force of Will singles. I know they update their WOM list for buys and taking a picture of us and purchases. Their buy list, and you can go pick up some cards. So I'm trying to get at. I'm still getting used to these intros. But make sure to visit the link in the description below so know we sent you. I know there's been some people saying they didn't see cards or whatever. They're there, trust me. And then this podcast is also possible for everybody through iTunes and Google Play and other places we haven't. I think just SoundCloud. Thanks to patrons. If you want to visit our Patreon at patreon.com/TCG Scrubs. And, thank you guys to them for everything they do. And also, as I said, thank you for Colin from Team ARG for being here. If you want to visit his team link on Facebook, you can visit that in the description down below as well. We're so lucky. I'm sure you guys are just super busy with the GP coming up, and being able to separate yourself from them and come to our show, Colin, is such an honor.
It is.
I appreciate
it is
it so much every week. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was pretty fun. You guys invited me to your 2K stream you just had.
Yeah, you must have lots of free time on your hands. So crazy.
Past 2K subscribers, it looks like. So that's pretty exciting.
We did.
For anyone who missed it.
Well, I was telling
Oscar
Colin,
and I did.
Yeah, I had been telling Colin I had always been afraid to announce it because I'm one of those jerks who, when someone goes, "Oh, guys, we got 9K," I'm like, I'm going to unsub for like a week just to get to this. You're not 9K anymore. But thank you guys for not doing that. I appreciate it.
If you guys made it through that whole thing, was 3.5 hours, right?
It was. So the way it was supposed to work was...
There was a couple of you that were there the whole time.
Yeah, the way it was going to work was we're going to start at 7, and there's going to be a half-hour buffer period, kind of let people fill the room up, and then we'd come on. But then me and Colin are sitting here doing exactly what we're doing right now. We do this every night, pretty much. And Colin's like, you know what? Instead of just having this splash screen, we'll just go live and we'll just kind of talk to people. And the Q&A kind of started off right there. People were already asking questions. Yeah. And one of my biggest fears was that we'd get like 2 or 3 people to join us, and then it would just be that the whole night, and there'd be like 2 questions and just be like awkward. But no, a lot of you guys showed up. Between Twitch and YouTube, I think we were right around an average about 25 to 30 range. Depending on when you looked at the chat, it goes up and down, for who was viewing.
I definitely got to apologize for getting a little crazy during that. I was baited and into it, but it's okay.
Oh, get out of here!
I'll be honest. When you drank, I was like, oh no, he can handle it. It's just a small drink. He's not drinking a lot. But like you started to get loud.
I legitimately had
That's what
only
it was,
tequila. Tequila was the only thing I had in my house, and
yeah.
I can go through barrels of tequila. You Joey.
Colin drank a little bit. I was like,
I didn't have tequila. It's not my fault. But I went and I got one that I usually drink, and I was like, doo. Oh, it's gonna be great. And I took a sip of it, and I was like, oh no, what happened? It was just like straight, like felt like alcohol. Like no, it was supposed to be a flavored whiskey thing, and it was just like, it did not taste good. I was like, well, I tried. Good luck, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, given how well it went, we're considering doing it like once a month, maybe once every other month. Depends on what you guys would like to see.
It was fun doing like a much less formal version of the podcast. Not something that would be great all the time because of how unstructured it was, and probably not great for you guys to follow if it was something that happened every week. But as a once in a while thing, and a great way to actually live interact. I enjoyed interacting and answering questions and enjoy getting into fights.
Back to what I was saying initially, like it was supposed to be like the 30-minute buffer period, then the Q&A. And I imagine maybe an hour, we do some questions, everybody be like, cool, thank you guys for doing what y'all do, and then leave. And then we finish, and we see the record time was like 3.5 hours. I was like, holy crap. And the chat was going quick, and we do need to assign chats next time, like Melissa was saying, or I think not just Melissa, but I think Sigma or somebody was saying it. Not Sigma, I forget the name of it. The other guy, he was on
The
Twitch.
other guy.
He was saying to assign chats
Chat
to one, like Joey would get Twitch, I'd get YouTube, and we kind of just pull questions.
Oh yeah. I had the thing that was pooling everything into one place, so it was super easy for me to follow, but like not easy to reply.
And given how busy YouTube has the most viewers, anybody coming through Twitch and looking at it probably saw 4 to 5 viewers watching any given time. Meanwhile, YouTube had anywhere from like 15 to about 22, I think the most was. So that chat was going a lot faster than the other one.
It was really hard to follow.
That's so much
Real quick, in case I did, so say you're tweeting something,
Okay.
and you want to
Well,
tag
how do I
someone
tweet?
in it. You want to tag a fellow Twitter account.
Okay.
How would you do that?
You hit the
You
@
at
sign
their-
and
yeah.
type in their username.
Okay, I did it right. I did my first tweet ever. I did it right. I didn't do any hashtags though. I feel like I should have done hashtags.
Yeah, it's not going to get trending.
Oh yeah. You have to do the hashtag FOWTCG, and that's it. That's like the #1 Force of Will hashtag right now.
I'm super over it now. It's already been twittered. So that's at ARG Colin if you guys want to follow that. I did my first post in 2 weeks, so in 2 weeks you might get another tweet from me.
Yeah. I do post every now and then. You find us at TCG Scrubs on Twitter. That's me running it. So what I was asking is if we do that thing once a month, like the Q&A. It seems weird to call it a Q&A. It wasn't very Q&A. We were like getting the like lore story or not lore.
It was more like
or
interacting.
history. Yeah.
Interaction.
What should
yeah.
we call it? Y'all can put that. That's y'all's weekly interaction or this week's
Oh, yeah.
interaction. Is put in the comments below what that should be called.
Yeah, you got to hear all 3 of our origin stories for TCGs. Well, mostly you got to hear Joey's biography. You got to hear
Oh, it was
Oscar
so
and Mai's
good.
quick
I was
quick
rewatching
origin.
portions of that, and I got the Joey's. I was like, click, skipping along the timeline.
Look,
That was a wow. He was like, yeah, and I used to play this deck, and it had this card and this card and this card. Like talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! It's
It was
like
based
no
on
one
this
knows what you're
stuff.
talking about. No one knows what Gravekeeper is, Joey. I barely remember Gravekeeper. Like you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I guess that was a card. I have no memory of what that even means.
Everybody knows.
Like,
everybody
but,
or any other.
I got hard into Duel Links for like a good 3 weeks, and then I was super over it.
Yeah.
I leveled up pretty far though.
I
I spent like $10 on it. I was like, and I'm done.
I got to King of Games like the first couple weeks it came out.
Nice.
That
was one of the ones when we were first talking about streaming other games. I was like debating streaming Duel Links onto our Twitch as something when that first came out. No, I'm super over it. Like I said, I was playing it and I was like, oh man, this game's terrible.
It's
super fun among friends. Actually, it's like super fun. Like when Joey and I would play and stuff, and Michael and I had played a bit when he was here with my old decks. And I was like, oh, it's pretty fun among friends. But like in any type of pseudo-competitive environment, it's just like, oh, turn 2, game's done. Well, that was fun. I'm super over this game.
Do you remember you and me were going to go see is it Age of Ultron? And we're sitting in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Home Depot, and we're playing in the bed of a truck. Whose truck was it?
Taylor's.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I was trying to teach you how to play. Once again, not to get you into the game, but just so you could do what I did, which was spend like $5 on it, making your own custom deck, and then we just have this deck. I've had the same 2 decks for how long, Joey? Like 10 years probably now? Probably longer than that, honestly. And I just, just a time at rent, like how we break out your dual, what's it called? Your DC game, deck builder. Like once in a while. It'd be like that, like, oh, let's play this. And yeah. But Oscar's super like, everyone expects me to join whatever game they're playing, but I try and do it, and everyone's like, whoa, what do you think you're doing, Colin? Back up. We talked about that on the 2K stream also, about how I keep getting screwed over by them.
Well, first of all, we need to play Clank. That's on the shelf. But
yeah, I agree.
No, I just remember it being really confusing. I couldn't grasp the concepts behind it.
It's super. Once you get the basic thing, it's probably one of the most simple games out there. It's more straightforward, I think, than Pokemon. I'll probably. I'm not talking about the newer stuff. I don't know what's going on with the new shit.
Yeah.
It's up till before Fusion is the gameplays we play.
I mean, the Fusion Fusion is really like the first 2 sets. Like
No, it's the second cluster. I'm pretty sure. You got the whole first cluster.
No.
Anyways,
Fusion.
we didn't do fusion stuff. It's forbidden. Because fusion can be broken. Anyways, we're getting way off topic.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, is that what this podcast is
No,
right
no.
now?
But real
No.
quick show off. Got my TCG player purchasing that. Good job.
I can't see what that is.
Are those promos?
No. It's Seed of Rebirth.
Oh, nice.
And then I got 2 Elsers.
Nice.
And then 2 Arrivals. And then they sent me a
Nice.
promo, which was awesome of them.
Oh, cool. The
It was,
6 cent promo.
Northwood
Nice.
Games, I believe, who sent that one with the promo.
Who did?
Northwood?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
So-
there's some questions that I think we had on the Q&A that you know, fully addressed, or maybe, you know, people who don't want to go sit through that 3.5 hour video, we can save them some time. And I think you had a couple questions you knew of.
Yeah, and I may have fleshed out the stuff more since, like, I know me personally, I was like saying stuff, but then I'd get distracted because the chat would go up and be like, I don't want to miss anyone's question or response and stuff. So it's this first time we've ever done that, so I'm sure it'll be better next time.
Yeah, and I have one too that I think I had seen. I'll ask that anyways, just in case it was there. I don't want that person to feel left out. But go ahead with yours. Mine's super easy.
So the first one was it was asked a couple times. This is the easy one. I don't know. I wonder what you think I'm about to say.
Mine is a super easy one, as I'm trying to get at.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Mine's
So
like a
this
quick
question is,
5-minute thing.
what our thoughts were on what going into the Collinsville GP and possibly future GPs, what the top 8 is going to look like, and by extension, will Sherry still be a thing?
Right. I think we definitely touched a little bit about it. I remember during the podcast, but
Yeah, we're well during the 2K stream, yeah, but it's sort of rehashing those out, but maybe into more detail and giving a little bit more reasoning.
I found it interesting that people are thinking it's going to be like a triangle, or I mean, I don't know who mentioned the triangle thing first, but like, I feel like there's a lot of chances for a lot of like decks to maybe like squeeze their way into some kind of top top seeding. Like, it doesn't have to be top 8; it could be like top 16, and you know that deck just needs to be refined maybe a little bit more. But like, as far as like, the most decks are going to be Sherry. And the most decks that are going to be in the top 8 are Sherry, just because of she's safe. Like, people know how to play her. People have been playing her, so like, she's not going to go anywhere. Like, the idea behind like GPs and stuff is that you want to bring the deck that you think you're gonna like, that has the best chance. And like right now, all of the like data and everything says Sherry is going to be the best bet. Next is probably going to be Keurig, because he's been established. Like, he got a lot of new, really good support. I'm thinking as far as decks that could maybe like sneak their way in, like Fair could possibly come back. There could be some kind of like Fox shenanigans. Maybe none of these are like top 8 worthy, but I think either Imul or Lumia are probably gonna, at least one I think is gonna be seen in the top 8. I'm thinking Imul. I think Imul is a little better than Lumia, just because of her like double ramp ability, like possibility. Like, it's kind of like how Fair could get out like Maria Bella turn 4. That's like 4 mana turn 4. This is like 6 mana turn, or 4 mana turn 2. This is like 6 mana or something turn 2, or however much you get for that. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be like Sherry, maybe Imul next, and then Keurig, but like one of those are definitely gonna be in there. I think at least one deck will be in there, and then maybe like a spattering of like surprising stuff. Like, I thought Rhea with her like with the discard abilities could be really interesting. I think at least a lot of those decks are probably going to be running like Glint of Insight and Thought Control and like a discard thing. I'm interested to see whether people will actually run Rhea just for like the double Glint of Insight ability, like whether or not that'll be strong enough, like a strong enough turn 1 or turn 2 that it'll be available.
It could potentially be. I mean, or even at least running cards that generate mystery counters that also do other effects that are useful that maybe were overlooked, because there's other cards that are similar and you don't need mystery counters, or whatever number of reasons. All of a sudden these cards that generate mystery counters on their own suddenly have potential, such as what was the card that just came out that generates mystery? No, that generates. There's a resonator that came out that I'm blanking on that generates mystery counters. Gil, yeah. Gil generates mystery counters, and that's a super good card, especially inside of a Gil deck.
Yeah.
And he generates mystery counters. Obviously, that's a turn 4, but just by having that, being able to passively play Glint of Insight was.
I feel like that's too late for doing what you want to do with mystery counters, maybe. But I do think that that's another deck that I would like to see maybe like squeak its way in, because I think there might be a lot of like push toward in my opinion, I was trying to kind of make a deck that doesn't get shut down too hard by like cancels. So I was running Alhamat's Black Lightning, and I was running Gil, and I was running it inside of a Gil deck. And so I think Gil, because of his ability to not be countered, like could see a lot of like that could be a deck that somebody brews up that's really ends up really good.
It also depends how much play we end up seeing of the new 3-cost remove target spell from the game, so that avoids your getting canceled, and could be especially brutal for certain cards.
I don't think anybody's gonna play that. Like,
I think it's gonna be.
My issue with it is that like it only stops. It's only good for uncounterable cards, in my opinion.
And remnant cards.
Yeah, remnant cards a little bit too.
Like, imagine they do play Glint of Insight, paying the mystery counter for its awakening, and you do that to it. So they've wasted a mystery. Granted, it took a lot of will for you to do that, but you've shorted them what could potentially be mystery counters in short supply if they're not playing Rhea.
Mm-hmm. And it's 3 cost, right?
Yeah, it's 3, 2 green, 1 void.
If they're already running Vanishes in some Sherry decks from that more recent top 8ing, I don't see why they wouldn't run that.
Wow, people are.
It's a better version of Vanish, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, then yeah. I mean, not that I think it 3-cost cancel isn't still ridiculous, but yeah.
I think 3-cost cancel is like the perfect cancel cost.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, there was a.
It is
like the Mexico GP. Yeah. Brandon may have, I think, in his top his list had like 1 or 2 Vanishes.
Yeah, then it'll probably see play.
Yeah. So Joey, you think Sherry will still make a play, and you think Aimu over Lumia and Keurig will be seen in the top 8.
Yeah, I mean,
but still majority Sherry.
The weird thing is that I have played Sherry, like, because I don't play a whole lot. This is just going off of based on what kind of things that I know and I hear about people. Like, because I've never actually played Sherry, but like I played your IMO list. I haven't played Lumia, but like I've played your Keurig list. Like, I would give Imul over Keurig with like the amount of like turn 2 like cancels and stuff it can do, and like playing like bouncing with Jupiter and stuff. Like,
yeah,
Keurig,
if you have the consistency up, yeah, you can bounce their turn 1 or 2 PL and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like that leaves you in a hugely really good position. So, I don't know. But from what I've kind of been feeling like I've been hearing, like Sherry is still going to be good enough to take the top 8 spots.
Oscar?
So I'm gonna start off by saying I really wish Ayu would make one of the top decks. I don't think she will. I think she would struggle, even though she got some awesome support. I'm just as sad as anybody else who may want to see her, topping, to not see her topping. But I wish she could. But some ones I do think will make it. It's gonna be Sherry. It's gonna be Fairer, especially after seeing that Fairer list I was shared with us recently. It was pretty awesome. And then maybe Imul. I don't know about her, but definitely probably Lumia. So I'm going to go with Lumia, Sherry, and Fairer. Those are my top 3 right now.
Do you think Keurig is going to be like edged out by Fair?
I feel like people are going to be completely ready to counter Keurig, is what it is.
So is the Fair list in our deck list?
What?
Like, was it shared to our Discord?
It was sent to us on Facebook.
Okay. You guys will have to show me that.
Yeah, because fair, because of its mechanics, can technically at least stay on pace as far as field population and stuff like that in order to shield itself against the Keurig list. And then once it flips, it's able to protect against all of Keurig's burn and stuff like that. And then potentially have a stronger offensive once you get your going and stuff like that. So I think fair just outdoes Keurig because it just is able to cancel stuff, and then once you flip, you've got barrier, buffing, the works. The only reason, like we had mentioned before, it wasn't big is because Sherry is just better. But Sherry, it might be able to edge out Sherry potentially now.
Yeah.
So was that? So you said, well, say that one more time. What your top 8 was?
Sherry, Lumia, and Favor.
Do you think Sherry will still have the majority placeholders in top 8?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be a pretty even spread.
Think even spread?
Yeah.
I agree with I think Sherry's still going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I think it'll still be majority in top 8, whether that's because it's genuinely a better deck or just statistics. More people are running it, so just statistically it's going to have a bigger showing in top 8 because there was no one there to counter it type of deal. We've seen that situation happen before. So that could always happen. It's the first GP since the bans happened. So people, like you said, it's just a safe choice. I still think, like I had mentioned, Sherry's still strong. It's still, you pay Will, usually in a deck, to play and get rid of cards in order to draw cards to have card advantage and hope that you draw maybe cards to help counter your opponent. Sherry still starts you with 5 extra cards that are designed to counter your opponent. So it's just a hard thing to just, outdo. And like the card Oscar had shown the full art of, where it's a 3 cost that you could play at quick cast speed inside of the story deck that puts a 2 cost and 1 cost resonator into your field. You can use that to bring out Melfi if that died, or he was talking about, I don't know if this is viable or not, but pitching a Flame Dragon with Planting Beans, so you can bring Flame Dragon out with it. And you can use that to bring out Lorite. If you don't have any Lorites in your hand and it's died and in the graveyard, you can use that card to bring Lorite out at quick cast, so it gets its enter the field effect to cancel an ability still, so you're constantly able to cycle things. The only downside, as far as I can tell from the wording, is you need to have a 2 cost and a 1 cost in your graveyard.
Yeah.
So it is easy to counter in a sense if your opponent is running graveyard removal, or if you just aren't able to pitch the correct cards into your graveyard. So, but she still has all the other mechanics that are super good. So I still think Sherry is a strong showing. I agree that Fair might be big. Keurig will be big. I don't know if he'll be big enough to crack more than 1 in top 8 currently. Unless people would start safe picking him over Sherry, which could be a possibility. I don't think Aimu will make it into top 8 unless I pilot it. But Lumia...
This week we definitely have to start testing. Getting ready, man.
Yeah, no, I have a couple ideas to alter to make it a little bit better after my match with Joey. But... Lumia, I think, is going to be the big shower, and I think we'll have at least 1 rogue deck in top 8. Not necessarily rogue, but a deck we weren't expecting. I'm thinking maybe Gil or... Oh, now I'm going blank. Oh, Gil or Shayla. I think Shayla still has potential to make a showing, depending on how she's built.
We'll see.
I think so, because... think of it as, it depends what the showing of cards are. If it's still a heavy Sherry player base, then that could be. If people decide to safe pick Keurig, I think Shayla has the potential to outdo Keurig because she can control Keurig really efficiently. And the only thing you got to figure out is your win condition, how to get that out before Keurig starts flipping and burning like no tomorrow. But there's potential there, I think. But so that's my thoughts on that.
Not bad.
But you had mentioned that
it does feel like there's a lot more options, though, which I like.
It feels like that. We'll wait and see. Like I said, it will be really. I still hope. I'm hoping this doesn't happen, but I still think it'll look really bad if Sherry not only makes a good showing, but tops in the top 8 and is like anything more than 4 Sherrys in the top 8, that's going to be really bad because they went through and they banned 3 cards to try and nerf her down instead of just banning her. They avoided banning her and banned 3 cards instead. And so she's still big showing. The company's not going to e-ban. They've pretty much made it clear that they don't want to e-ban. They're not going to unban stuff in order to switch out bans or anything like that. So we essentially would be not only stuck with Sherry, but it'll look really bad of banning 3 cards and it having no effect on the meta outside of we have 3 cards that we can pull in packs now and are completely useless.
So
outside of just banning Sherry.
You don't think? I mean, I forget their words sometimes and what they said and how they phrased it. But so you don't think that after, like, say, ARG happens this next weekend coming up, or the GP we're going to, if they're both like dominated by Sherry's in the same way they were before, they'd be like emergency ban, Sherry's out. You don't think they'll do that?
No, I don't. There, like I've said before, I mean it could be different, but combination the 2 things that make me not think that they would is because the only reason they would e-ban after seeing that in especially in U.S. tournaments would be if like Jeff said something, and it's been made clear that it's sort of a coin toss on whether they'll listen to Jeff, and they should be like 100% listening to him all the time, but whether or not he would actually advocate, I'm not saying he would advocate for that. I'm just saying like that would be the only reason, and they've literally based on their track record at minimum 3 different. If we don't count Sherry, 3 different points in this game, we've had stuff run stuff into the ground. And they didn't e-ban. They waited until their normal ban dates to ban stuff. Yeah. And so, considering Sherry, I don't think Sherry is technically as oppressive as Prisha or Reflect Refrain or Baja Blast. So because of that, I don't think they would e-ban her. But I think it would be the correct move. This is all speculative, assuming that she did good. She could always not do good at... like I said, I'm hoping that that's not the case. But if I'm just saying it would be very not good if that happened.
True.
I'm holding out for a Glint of Insight Raya deck. Just to come in, smash stuff.
Yeah.
It would be pretty funny to see Raya in the top 8. I think people would be pretty hyped on that.
I really hope we're not disappointed with top 8, and it's just super like, whoa, this is crazy. You know, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Man, it'd be so great if for whatever reason those bands were like the perfect band, and which kind of sick. One thing I mentioned before is it sucks that True Blade's super strong, but True Blade was also one of the best counters for. It was a green card that was a really good counter for green, but it would be really great if those bands would just let us like into the golden age where like we're like, oh shoot, look at that day, the post LEL world of like, oh look, oh Charlotte's back, what the heck, I forgot about her, and like, oh man, someone's piloting a 0 deck. Oh, what are you doing, Joey? Get out of here, and like different things like that. It'd be super cool. Like, oh man, that's all we needed was those 2 brand new cards and that 1 old card, and we're golden.
Yeah.
Hope so.
We'll see.
But speaking of that, the next GP, and the other question I was asked was what decks we were thinking of running and bringing there.
Right. So my default was going to be Sherry. We're still playing around with it, see where it goes. I don't think the Red Dragon is a good idea at all. So I'm going to take that and the Planting Beans out to make room for better stuff. That's a 3-card spot right there. But I'm leaning towards that, only because I would have taken Ayu, but I don't think she's going to do very well at all. And then my second option just showed up last night when we were shared that favorite deck list. Because it plays a lot like the one you made, Joey.
Yeah.
They change cards here and there. It's something like greatly different. It's fair. It's a fair list. But I don't know. I liked it. I was like, oh yeah, I do miss getting out. Maria Bella turn 2. If everything went perfect, stuff like that. So it's something that's it's on my, as you say, radar right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play test with it, see how it goes.
Nice. You guys are totally gonna like send me the list, and I'm gonna like, this is my list.
You know what? Like, it's an easy argument to make if you're to be like, this is my list. Had I kept updating it since Ancient Knights came out.
It's a good point. I would like to see what kind of stuff they've slotted in.
Ataraxia. They threw in 3 Ataraxias. That's one thing.
Oh, is that the one that gets you the 3 cost or less?
No, it's the one that
What?
it's
No.
a 2-cost a green red, and it taps to produce will. And if you use it to pay for a resonator, that resonator gains swiftness.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Really strong, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, you imagine using that to get the Maria Bella in play. That Maria Bella swinging in that turn she came in.
Yeah.
Should she?
Like,
Especially since both Absolute Awareness and the other card that I used to use for a ramp was 2 cost.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was thinking about it more. I think that card's too strong, but that's just my opinion. Because I was thinking about it. Think of
I
it.
actually really like it.
No, it's a cool idea. If it weren't in the format that we're in right now, it might. Think of it this way: we have Sprinting Flame Horse. It's a 1-cost red. Give target J/Resonator swiftness and +2/+2 till end of turn. You pitch that card, it's gone. This card is 2 cost, but you can instantly produce 1 will. So
Yeah.
it's technically the same 1 cost as the course, except you get to produce will and give stuff swiftness every single turn for the rest of the game, unless someone destroys it. And by the time you've used it once, you've gotten the same worth out of it as you would have Sprinting Flame Horse. So there's no downside of playing it
Well,
on this.
I real quick. I like it when you have it's like turn 2. You have your 2 will up, or turn 2, whatever, 3 will, because 2 to put it in play, and then 2 to put another one in play, and you still have 1 up. You know, it's just super
Yeah.
awesome. It builds up.
Okay, so my thing is like, it can't give J Resonator swiftness, right?
J rulers, no.
Yeah. Okay. So like that's one thing that Sprinting Flame Horse has over it. It doesn't get the
Right.
+2/+2 buff, which is whatever, and it comes into the like it's technically, you're right. Honestly, it's pretty much 1 will. It's like I'm not gonna try and like argue that just because it's 2 will. Like,
Well,
by the
we
time
have
you
high
wanna
speed,
play-
which is that's a better comparison. High speed that gives Resonator swiftness, and it's a 1-cost chant, and will be the de facto chant like Sprinting Flame Horse post rotation.
Does it give like green red will, or does it give any color will?
Green red.
Okay.
I mean, you know, the 2 main colors probably in this format. I'm not harking on it too much, but I'm just saying I personally think that should have either been a 3 cost or had some type of stipulation to it for being 2 cost. They should introduce what Caster Chronicles has, which is slow start. So if something would have gone that turn, it has slow start. You have to wait till the
Yeah.
next turn. So you give slow start to additions, so you
That would
don't
be
tap
pretty
them
cool.
right away.
Well,
Or like additions
or
with
just
will, you can't tap right away.
Give it to
I think it's good
resonators.
though that like additions are getting stronger though. Like we hardly ever have seen any additions.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. We need more good additions. I've might have been a tiny step too far. Like a 2-cost addition that produces red or green is a decent addition. I mean, yeah, because we have a 2-cost addition that's 2 void that just makes it so your stones produce any color. It doesn't produce any color on its own, but that's a pretty decent one. But basically, like you said, absolute awareness is 2 cost to grab a stone. So this is basically like an absolute awareness.
So here's the surprising thing: is 2 things. Actually, one. I already forgot the other one. You know that GP that happened this weekend, which is Rome, the one you didn't want to talk about because it was cluster only. Is
I didn't say I didn't want to talk about it. I just said like not much to talk about.
well, here I'm about to talk
In my
about something
opinion.
from it. Is you would have thought they would run that statue you just said, but nobody was running it. They're instead running the other 2-cost statue that says tap 1 and tap this statue, produce 1 of any color.
Yeah. That's
They
the
all
Why,
seem to
though?
pick that. I don't know. So I'm saying they all picked it over the other statue. Because I was going through
It could be
earlier
the
today when I was
secondary
look-
effect.
Well, yeah, because the other one's like either I think it comes into play or goes to graveyard and it drew a card. One
yeah.
or 2.
The first one sucks. The other one that actually makes a 5/5 Angel Resonator is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, and that's the one they're not
They
running
actually-
is that one. But I don't know. I saw it strange because like another strange thing was the time spinning witch decks were all running possession stones, and I was like, why? You're just producing blue. But somebody made a funny joke that it could have been a funny thing like they were planning on running just basic blue stones anyways, but they threw those in instead. Type of thing.
It'd be because I there's no consequence to running special magic stones right now, especially inside of that cluster specifically, but in the game at all outside of Wanderer format. But how funny it would be if Rome didn't know that and they were just producing all color wills for all those decks and just no one was stopping them.
They were like,
but someone
just
mentioned
just fix it. Pretend we had those the whole time.
Someone had mentioned it's a way to it could outside of a funny thing. Also could be a tactic of like your opponent looks at your stuff and at quick glance they're like, oh shoot, they have all this will up, they have two greens up, they could easily cancel whatever I'm about to do at first glance when you're under those high stretch situations, to sort of throw your opponent off just in the slightest. Even if it only wins you one game the entire time, that's a pot net gain.
What would have been great, real quick, is if you had only ever played one card of any type per turn. They thought you were running like one-ups. They're like, oh no, they're going to side now you. And then they side accordingly. That's the first thing that went in my head.
That'd be pretty funny.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, no. Never mind.
That was the other thing I was going to say. I also disagree with you, Oscar. I think Ayu could make a play.
I really want her to. Having played with it against your IMO deck, it's just like your IMO deck stopped it hard. Really hard.
I wouldn't say it stopped it hard. I would say there was probably just like one or two things that could have been done differently. Mm-hmm. Or maybe cards that could have been switched out to do it better. Like, I don't know, because you have stuff to counter, essentially. Scarlet's Agony. You have stuff to counter them blocking with a flyer. You have stuff to counter almost everything that can be thrown at her, and you have a ton of ways to recycle your souls back into your hand from your graveyard, assuming they don't pitch your graveyard. Mm-hmm. And then you have that new chant that buffs or completely debuffs an enemy thing. So I think the correct way to go for Ayu could potentially be not J activating so quickly, because you have so many tools that doesn't matter how built up your opponent gets, how big their field is or anything. You just need one turn where you're completely built up with all the correct counters and all that, or all the correct buffs to swing in for that one turn kill.
Yeah.
So I think Ayu could make a showing. I think you're giving up on her, man.
I might be. I don't know. We'll see. Again, we've only played her against your IMO list, so you need to build them, and I need to build all the other top lists, so we can start playing against each other. Do our own gauntlet type of thing.
So speaking of
you guys are so
stuff,
proud, like testing and stuff for Collinsville finally at GPs. I love it.
Anyways, but what I had mentioned on stream with the stuff I was like, as you heard, is the IMO deck. It's not a flippy flip IMO, unfortunately. It's a regular IMO.
He's going against his beliefs.
Yeah. We'll see. There's that one.
You said my stone, by the way.
Huh?
You said my flippy stone.
Yeah, I do. Don't worry about it.
It sucks.
I have a Gil Ahamat, the Colossal Ruler deck, that essentially the idea of it, because I'm probably not going to run it, so we'll do hopefully a gameplay and I'll maybe do a deck profile for it, because I thought it was super cool, but I don't think it's not consistent enough to take anywhere. But the idea of it was basically you pitch down a high cost resonator, and you're able to get a crap ton of mana counters on him really early on. So by turn 3, you do your first judgment, and then turn 4, you do your second judgment to your colossal side, and hopefully win the game from that point forward, because all the cards in your hand are now ancient magic, and you run a bunch of I ran like Magic Impact, obviously like Invitation, World Flame Summoning, in case you're not able to consistently do a damage to your face. You can at least clear the field and have them banish their stones for free over and over again. And then it still has Severing Wind, so I could play Severing without having to wait for its secondary effect for free and stuff like that once he did the Colossal Flip. So that was the idea behind it. It's super cool, I think. But so there's that. A soul deck I was working on, which basically it was pretty straightforward. It was Welser with his God's Art, putting him out onto the field, and then playing stuff like either Invitation with the Awakening to just win the game, because you do 4,000 to their face, or keeping them at bay by doing World Flame Summoning, and then Welser copies it, so that you clear their field for 1,600 and have them banish 2 stones, or hitting their face for 16 and banish 2 stones. So you get really far ahead while you wait to do the rest of the damage to their face. Once again, consistency problem. So probably going to pitch that one as well. And
then my favorite part of that one was you judgmented and gained all your counters, and then I last Dragonoided you, and you spent all your counters in response, and then played a chant, and then I canceled it, and you're like, and pass turn. That one, I was like, oh yeah, there it is. It is.
What's like the consistency problems? Because now that I'm hearing like double World Flame summoning sounds really strong, and like all you need is like maybe 2 red mana up if you pay the whole cost. Like because
Word Flame Summoning, the problem with it, especially Word Flame Summoning, is best when I usually do. I usually am able to play Word in a normal Soul deck. I play it turn 2, and that'll clear their field and get rid of a stone, put me a turn ahead. The problem is, if I pitch that, I don't have it in my hand or something like that, or I've used all my counters to do that, and I don't have the extra 2 will to play Welser to get that copy effect. And so if I wait a turn, or wait 2 turns to do that same thing, it's way too long, and they either have Resonators that are too big, they've J-activated, or them losing those 2 stones. And there's more chances of them countering because they have more stones up. So in order to get consistent, I'd have to figure out a way to do that turn 2, turn 3 at the latest, Welser World Flame Summoning combo, or staving off and playing Welser and getting the Invitation with Awakening combo. In order to do that, I need more cancels or stuff to protect him and that spell at the same time, which is really hard to do simultaneously.
So my question is like, would Gil be able to do it faster and more like consistent?
No, because in a pinch, what I do is I deactivate Soul and pitch MacLeod to gain 10 counters for 3 will, and Gil is able to earn stuff more consistently, like, you know, he gets the per turn. However, he doesn't inside this deck because you want everything in the deck is pretty much mono red. And
right, but like I'm saying, you would like you could like change out the entire deck idea, like because let's say you played Gil, right? You start with 1 counter, you call stone, you get a 2nd counter, you call stone, you get a 3rd counter, and then all you need is 1 of the red cards, and you can cast World Flame Summoning along with Welsh's God's Art for like an actual turn 2 World Flame Summoning, which if that goes off, you could like put them back to 0 stones.
4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure where your math is at. That's 7. I would need 8 total.
World Flame Summoning is 5 mana, right?
6.
It's 6.
Yeah, I mean, if I was able to get, obviously, if I pull
I guess you would need
the 1 cost that gives you 3 counters at one of those turns before, then yeah, that would put me ahead.
Yeah,
like, ideally, like an opening hand for inside of Soul, for example, would be like 2 of those 3 counter cards, a Welser, a World Flame, and an Invitation, or some sort of combination like that, so you can gain up those counters and just pitch stuff. But
can you copy Time Bombs? No, Time Bomb doesn't.
Yeah.
Take him out on mana though. Yeah,
he doesn't what?
Like,
Time Bomb is a champ. That's another
like,
part of it. Yeah.
Right, like that would be strong. I'm thinking like I love the idea of
Time Gun can be lore added, so that I took that up real quick.
Yeah. No, like I feel like World Flame Summoning is like double copying that would be insanely strong. Like it's almost like a hook, except better.
It is. I don't know if I played against Oscar with it, but I played against someone else with it, and it was really strong. But in those games, I still lost. It like I said, because it took too long to get that off, and even when I got off, like it didn't matter at that point. There's at least 1 or 2 instances where it just wasn't enough damage. They had someone that could survive 1600, I forget what it was, and stuff like that, or they had the J ruler out with barrier.
I'm gonna brew
different thing.
Like
yeah, do it.
No, it's really cool. I like
a couple days from now.
Huh? What else?
What?
I was talking to Joe. He's saying he's gonna brew it. I'd be like, but that'd be cool. Give some, videos to record. You should brew it.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully have some live videos to record. And Melissa and I will probably record something, and that's where I'll probably do one of those deck ideas. Probably Soul. I'll throw that together, and we'll record a live video for it, hopefully. And
I have 2 built-ins right as well, the Fair and Sherry. We can record those next weekend.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, and we'll try and stockpile some live recordings because I know we've been lacking a lot of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do it this weekend, but I forgot about Father's Day. And then the last deck is Panda OTK, which is just Panda deck, but all the emphasis, huh?
Somebody who was repping pandas at the GP in Italy.
I saw. It's good stuff. Red Cluster only, so a Pandas would be really strong inside of Red Cluster only if you do it right, I think, because I'm trying to think about, I think most of the cards that I run inside of the Panda OTK are from Red Cluster, for the most part. There's a couple, but those couple could easily be replaced with something else. So like my Panda OTK is emphasis on the ruler, and everything around it is just like gaining gems or doing different things, and then you judgment, and then you swing for game inside of one turn. And it's able to avoid most things. Like even if it gets hit by Scarlet's Agony, he still does enough damage to you only need one more turn. But even Panda field population, I feel like inside of Red Cluster would be super strong. So I'm curious why I didn't do first place.
Apologies if you guys can hear that.
I can hear that.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
People either next door or floor below us horsing around.
Yeah, that's fine. I do have the last question that we can address, I guess, and kind of call it from there.
This is the cool one you were talking about?
It's super simple. I swear I saw it on chat and I looked for it and I didn't find it. I thought somebody had asked, hey, if there's a ruler that exists that kind of represents you guys, which one ruler would y'all pick?
I don't remember that question. Oh, you're crazy. I remember being asked what our favorite rulers were. And I feel like we never answered that.
It's essentially the same thing. Your favorite ruler then?
No, because there's a favorite ruler and ruler that represents you. Joe, you go first.
I literally just muted myself because of the screaming kids.
I could still hear the screaming.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I clicked mute on my whatever.
Anyways. Oscar, you can go first if you already have something.
No, I don't.
You've been sitting there on the question this whole podcast.
Right.
I might, but I might want to hear.
Are we thinking like the rulers, their types, what type of play they do? I probably
or
go
visually.
I probably go Reflector Flame because I want to play stuff that's strong and overpowered and
Joey, I want to win.
He's also he's complex and stuff and has a lot of options with him.
Yeah, it's super complex.
He puts I don't know. He does a lot of the stuff that I would like to do when I'm playing the game. So, and
he does everything you'd want to do when playing a game.
He's cool. Yeah, just have to go to Reflector Flame.
All right, Colin.
Ruler that best represents me. I'm trying to think if that me as a person or my play style.
I'm gonna go with my play style, something that's my favorite.
Play style?
If I could run that right now in New Frontiers, that's what I'd be running right now.
See, I kind of went both. I feel like it needs to encompass everything that you my personality is I'd like to play something like Reflector Flame and beat people up and stuff, and I don't know and then
I
don't know.
I would say I'm trying to think. I had something in the back of my head, and I'm hoping I'm not forgetting it because I feel like there's something else. But because my first thought was because originally, especially, I usually like fire-related stuff or dragon-related stuff, and that was the case with Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and Magic, but. And so my first thought was Sylvia because I really like the effect of flipping and burning and recovering your stones when you burn and different things like that. But I think the reason I like pandas so much is because I originally liked it because it was pandas. And it has the field population. And I like the combos you could get with the pandas and their enter effects, which I really enjoyed. But the thing I really like now is because it does something similar to what Red did, except better, which is flipping, and instead of burning, doing the minus stuff with the gems, but it also has the utility of buffing and swinging in and recovering and swinging in, so you get that. It has that sort of aggro feeling, but it feels like it's just cleaner and smoother, and it feels more rewarding when I do it. And so that's sort of my play style that I've always done, which is sort of that more aggressive type of thing. I know it's not as aggressive as Keurig, but I enjoyed Keurig for a bit, but something about Keurig's playstyle, it's not bad or anything, it's just isn't as appealing to me now, and I feel like Panda better suits like what I enjoy doing, which is enter.
Colin
It's like enter effects and also like flipping and burning and all that different stuff.
The real reason Colin doesn't want to play Carrick anymore is because Colin's a hipster and he will never ever play anything that mainstream. That's a mainstream deck ever.
Pretty much, that's it.
I disagree. I still play Carrick. It's just different now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think here, because Sylvia's pretty mainstream. First off,
Yeah.
Sylvia's not mainstream.
Well, what else was there? Was another deck I'd played that was mainstream. You guys get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like honorable mentions of stuff that I wish was still viable, because she's still in format is Featsing, and Turbo Feats was awesome. I had fun with that deck. It was just so much fun just to keep doing it. Like Guinevere was like the best part of it all, but
Fred, get out of here.
she was, and it, that and Levitine being there, because you just like, was it Triton, take your ruler, be like, or your Resonator, be like, cool, man, sack it with Levitine, just to kill it off. But
You're dumb.
nah, I don't know. I want to go with the Kaguya that threw stuff down in the Chant Standby for one.
Oh yeah.
That was great. If that was around now, I'd be playing it. Not that we have Chant Standbys or Chance with Triggers as they call them, but I don't know. I that's my go-to. That's my favorite. Like I wish, she was around
Your
and
Croco
Chant
Shark
Standbys
deck.
and yeah. Let's bring back Pumpkin Witch so we can get that Croco Shark going again.
Yeah, how about
We should just build it and see, like, is it really that big of a threat? Do they need to
I mean, yeah, Pumpkins probably just get canceled, but then you still have all the Crocker Sharks.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is lure at the first Croco Shark.
Yeah.
Right? Or no, you wouldn't
No.
lure at the first Croco Shark.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you did or not. They all
You could lure at something somewhere. No, you could lure at something somewhere. I feel like... I'm going blank. There's definitely a card that could counter Croco Shark, I feel like. But,
I mean, definitely.
Glint of Insight.
Red Dragon.
Glint of Insight.
Just in Croco Shark.
Yeah. No. Oh my gosh.
Or that Fox
Shooting
cancel
Dragon.
where you
Dragon
pay
Shooting
X
Star.
and then search their deck, their discard pile in their hand, and remove them all from game.
they're just like, Goose.
And past turn,
that would
all
be...
you decked out.
I would love to do that. Oh my gosh. I thought about throwing that card in somewhere. I forget which deck I was thinking about throwing it in. But throwing it in somewhere to try and just like, kind of like Glint of Insight, but a way just to like future proof against certain cards. Like, especially like say you're running a Lumia deck that's all about enter effects. Being able to be like, to get rid of all of your Abduls or Lorites inside of your hand and deck and all that stuff would be like super great. But it's just like that initial 2 cost is needed, but it's kind of high. So it's basically a minimum of a 3 cost cancel, which I guess people are running. So if you're able to have them tapped out while they play a card and no one's expecting you to run it, well, maybe I'll take a second look at it. Not a lot thinking about it.
This podcast alone triggered a bunch of people to be like, wait, that might be a good idea. Let me go look it up. Or they'll let us know how bad of an idea it was.
Well, yeah, probably, but like, just like, look at all these spitballs. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the GP and seeing what happens and playing New Frontiers and Not Sealed.
Don't forget to have a cool Epic Stories deck ready. No Valhalla, in case we play.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
that'll be fun.
Do that anyway so we can play this Thursday. Like we usually do.
We'll see. I'm building shelves, man. I'm a carpenter now.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget. It's me. I forget you're the guest now. All right, guys. That's kind of all we have for the night. I hope you enjoyed everything you heard, saw, however you're listening to this. And we'll see y'all next time.
Yep.
See ya.
See you guys.